Hello everyone, it's the TheCanadianWifier here. Now before I get into today's post-narrated almost any ability battles, I just wanted to go over the team preview really quick. This is the most updated version of the team, and also as an aside here, I've been posting all of my updated teams on my Pastebin, which can be found down below, links below as always. Basically anytime I create a decent team, I'm going to just Pastebin it real quick. So if you are ever in question of where you can find one of my teams, just load up my Pastebin. It will be there, it will be clearly labeled. And you guys no longer have to ask for the links in the description to my teams because they will just always be there. Getting into today's team, let me just explain something about AAA really quick. Heatran is threat numero uno. Choice specs aerialate boom burst just fucking kills everything. So, in order to counteract that, well, first off, you need your own. Otherwise, you're just missing an opportunity in this tier. So you need a Heatran. You obviously need an offensive checked Heatran, which is why you run Refrigerate, Never Melt Ice, Weavile. At least Refrigerate, Weavile. Fake Out, you have your spammable return. This is why Refrigerate is better than Technician, just because not only do you get Fake Out with Ice, you also get a spammable move in return. And it's like 170, 180 base power return. Oh, it's disgusting. And I run Feint over Quick Attack because it can beat Dragonite spamming Aerialate Extreme Speed. You also need to switch in for Weavile, because obviously everyone's running a Weavile, because everyone's running a Heatran. You need to switch in for Weaviles. And I run Scary Pony, which has to be one of the greatest Pokemon I think I've ever come up with in one of these tiers. Intimidate Keldeo. EV Spread isn't even that wonky. You know what? I'm going to stand by this one. Just get up to a nice HP number. Give it a lot of natural bulk, especially after an Intimidate. Secret Sword is obviously just a good attack. Same with Scald. You can try to get burns. Taunt it so that you can't get set up on. And Calm Mind if you actually could potentially sweep 13 with your Dual Stab, because it still was a goddamn Keldeo and it still is really strong and quick. On top of my two offensive checks, I also run defensive checks. I run Heatran to take on other Heitrans, just so I actually have a legitimate switch in. It also carries my Stealth Rock. It obviously has HP Ice to actually beat the Heitran. Flamethrower to hit other Heatrans, and because basically none of them run Flash Fire in this tier. And Flash Cannon to hit Fairies, because I have seen a lot of Togekiss running around with Pixelate Extreme Speed, which is also scary. And obviously Heatran can also switch on a Weavile, because it 4x resist Ice, and it doesn't get killed by knockoff, put it that way. That's why I'm running defensive Heatran, because I don't actually need to take the hit, because I have Soundproof for Heitran's Boom Burst. Soundproof is basically the only thing you can switch in on a Heitran. Speaking of defensive checks, I also have a Zapdos, because Dragonite is basically threat numero dos, I would say. Dragonite is a massive threat, especially Life Orb, because they're not locked in, so you could switch in Heatran to take the Aerialate Extreme Speed and then just get absolutely like fucking rocked with an Earthquake. So Zapdos can take Superpowers, Earthquakes, Outrages, and Extreme Speeds. Obviously Intimidate Zapdos, Scary Bird. You have HP Ice for Dragonite, so you can actually hurt them. You have Defog, because this team is a little, and by a little I mean very, very weak to Stealth Rock. Volt Switch to keep a momentum, and Roost obviously to keep you healthy. Pretty fast, because I enjoy fast Scary Birds that can Volt Switch out and keep my momentum for me. And then once you've got around countering every broken threat with your 5 Pokemon, like literally 5 Pokemon on this team is just to not get swept by the meta, then you have one slot left to abuse a broken Pokemon. And I chose Drought Charcoal Victini just because V-Crate, Blue Flare, and obviously Solar Beam. Not many things run Sandstream. Like, you can go for Solar Beam predicting T-Tar pretty safely, because basically next to none of them run Sandstream. They all run Intimidate. Anyway, let's get out of the team preview and into the actual battles today. Okay, so looking at the team preview here for the first game, Heatran makes me feel real good because I do have that Soundproof Heatran. I think this was actually the first game that I got after I switched over my team to the current variation. Sap Sipper Swampert is the first thing that comes to mind. It could obviously still be like Magic Bounce or Poison Heal or some stuff like that. No idea what the Garchomp is. I've been tempted to try out Magnet Pull Garchomp, but I also realized that a lot of Heatrans are just carrying Levitate, so trapping a Heatran wouldn't even be that beneficial to begin with. Mew seems dangerous because of its vast move pool, and vast move pool plus any ability equals scary. But we're just going to get into the game here. So I lead Droughtini, which is what I lead with most of the time, as he leads Amoonguss, and he just pops me with a priority Spore. So there you go, Prankster Amoonguss. I'm going to stay in case he wanted to try to double powder. That's what I was really scared of, because Prankster Stun Spore would also be bad. But he's going to set up a priority sub. I wish, I think I had just taken off double hit from this Weavile, so I was pretty upset. I was expecting a stun spore, but he didn't actually go for it. He just goes for Giga Drain, and he sends in Swampert trying to take this return. And as you can see, Refrigerate return. This is why I personally feel Refrigerate is better than Technician, just because, holy crap, you have that spammable move of return that can just kill things. He brings in Tran. I obviously need to switch out. I go out to Victini. He has a Magma Storm, which just kills me. That's fine. It's actually kind of upsetting because normally I beat opposing Heatran with my Victini, but whatever. He's going to set up rocks as I get off a nice 50% damage. I need to weaken that thing, otherwise my Noivern's not going to be able to do anything. As I'm going to go for a Defog as he goes for an SD. Luckily, because I am Intimidate, he's only at +1, and I can go right out in the Scary Pony and lower him back down to neutral, but he's going to go for another SD. I'm going to go for Scald, try to get the burn. Unfortunately, I don't, and not only that, but he also roosts up, which means I should have taunted first. Now I'm obviously going to taunt so we can stop setting up and stop roosting and all that. He's going to do like a shit ton of damage with the Drain Punch. Mind you, that is at +2, so it's not even that bad damage-wise, considering Killdeer can just eat that up. And then burn it with a Scald, and then live the next one at 1% to be able to get off another Scald while he's still taunted. He's going to Drain Punch, try to salvage a little bit of HP, but he is slowly burning to death. He's down at about 26%, and he has no switch in for a flying type broken. Please nerf. Boom Burst is just going to kill that. It would 2-hit KO Tran if you wanted to switch it in. Unfortunately, I can't Oko Tran from that range, so I'm going to send out my own fuck Aerialate and go for a Flamethrower, try to weaken it down. I was scouting for Earth Power earlier in the game, which is why I doubled the Zapdos on his Heatran the first time. Now I'm pretty convinced he doesn't have it. Unfortunately, he still has Magma Storm, and I'm super lucky he missed that second one. Holy crap, am I super lucky. He's going to bring in Noivern. Not quite sure about this switch, but he goes for Draco. As I just hit him with an HP Ice, I do a shit ton of damage to him. He's going to obviously go into Garchomp. I was confused at the switch at first, but then I see Yacht, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. He goes for Dragon Claw here, and I asked him why in the chat, and he actually brought up a good point. He thought I was running Levitate like everybody else, and I agreed with him, just so he would bring in Noivern, go for Boom Burst, and bam, there it is, baby. Soundproof Heatran, putting in a little bit of work. Fuck you, Aerialite. You aren't even that good when I have Soundproof Heatran. So, that's going to be the first game. As you can see, there's a lot of mind games going on with abilities. Obviously, he went for Dragon Claw, not Earthquake, just because he assumed I had Levitate. Obviously, Spikes damage and stuff would help you out with that, but he did not have Spikes on his team. So, it is a big guessing game when you try to predict what ability they're running, and in general, it's a ton of fun. Getting into the second game here, it is against Dragonite 78. I'm on the other side, unfortunately. He has a pretty terrifying looking team as well. He's got a Scizor, but basically, if you have a Scizor, it's going to be Flash Fire. They just use it as their switch into fire attacks. I don't really know what Staraptor is going to do. Staraptor is on the homepage for this with a Toxic Heal set, so I assume a lot of people are just running that. But obviously, people could be running Gale Wings, people could be running, I don't know what else you'd run on that, but you could be running whatever, because it's almost any ability. Weavile is a little bit scary, but obviously I do have my Scary Pony. Snorlax is actually a giant threat, because I've seen a lot of them with Rest Talk, Facade, and Poison Heal. I don't really know what the Gardevoir is doing there, but we're going to find that out. Once we get into the game, I'm going to just lead off with Droughini like I always do. He leads off with Weavile. I don't really want to take a knockoff, and I do have Scary Pony, so I'm just going to go right into it. Fake Out does absolutely nothing, and after lefties it basically does literally nothing. He's going to go to Gardevoir as I go for a Scald. Unfortunately, I don't get the burn, but it's not that bad. I assume he might be Scarfed. Who knows? I don't want to lose my Scary Pony early on, because he still has that Weavile, which is scary. So I'm just going to get rid of the Droughini, fire off a V-Create. Unfortunately, he does have Flash Fire Scizor, but Scary Pony's just going to put in a little bit of work here, because Keldeo was switching for Scizor last gen, and with Intimidate, it's an even better switching for Scizor. Gonna bring out Scary Bird because he does have a Staraptor, and I do resist Brave Bird. If he went for Double Edge or Facade or whatever else he has, it would have been hurt. It would have been hurt. It would have hurt me a little bit more. But knowing that he's gonna switch out, and knowing that Volt Switch is my only electric move, I'm gonna go for it. So I'm gonna go into Weavile, seeing that he just brought in a Gardevoir. Unfortunately, he has Iron Barbs and Rocky Helmet Regirock. Pretty interesting, not gonna lie, but I do have Scary Pony, which I can just switch in pretty much for free. scare him out with the threat of a taunt or a scald. I'm going to go for a taunt just in case he wanted to try to set up rocks. I'm not going to let him do that. As he goes right back out in the Gardevoir, going to again go back out into the Droughtini because it can easily take Moonblast. I'm going to go for the fire again because I assume he's going to be predicting that and not go out into Scizor, which is exactly what happens. And then now I know he's going to go into Scizor, so might as well get off my damage with the Psychic. And then go right back out into Scary Pony as he's going to U-turn. Now, this game is pretty damn repetitive at this point because he's going to go out in the Staraptor. I'm obviously going to switch into Zapdos on that Staraptor. As here he pulls the nice double and goes right out in the Weavile. Unfortunately, said double does nothing for him because I do have a hard check for that. Hard counter. Goddamn Scary Pony, it's a counter. As return fails to do anything, especially after lefty. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. I go for Scald. Unfortunately, I don't get the burn, and he is going to get up his Toxic Heal. Now here, I know Secret Sword wouldn't kill, but I needed the damage off on the Snorlax because it would have been very difficult to wear down anyways, it would have been difficult to wear down if I didn't get that damage off on it. Unfortunately, I do lose Scary Pony, which means I do lose one of my defensive counters to Weavile, but I still do have a check in Heatran. As in comes Scizor, I do still have Scary Bird. Zapdos was actually a hard counter to Scizor in Gen 4, like it was a very common switch in for it, so especially now that I have Intimidate, not scared whatsoever. I'm going to Volt Switch out on the Gardevoir, excuse me, and go to Noivern. He has a Citrus Berry. I don't know why, but the Gardevoir just dies. Weavile comes out, obvious fake out, quick attack, something faster than me is coming, so I'm going to go out in the Heatran because it can take any hit. He's going to go to the Scizor, predicting the Flamethrower, which last time I just completely blanked on. Going to go for the Flash Cannon because it would either kill the Weavile or get off damage, at least on the Scizor. As Scary Bird can come back out. I don't really care that you U-turn on me and go back out in the Weavile because I still have the Heatran. This turn he is going to predict that and go for the knockoff. Lose my lefties, not really that important, and at this point he's just going to scoop because he realizes exactly what's happening. I'm just wearing down his team little bit by little bit with Stealth Rock and constant hard counters, and I'm just going to eventually sweep with Noivern, and that's exactly what was going on. I'm either going to sweep with Noivern or I'm going to sweep with Weavile, one of the two. So he realizes that he's just going to scoop, and that's this team for you. Basically, you have a decent switch-in for basically anything common in the meta. Obviously, I've run across some really cool shit playing this so far. I've come across Normalize Skill Swap Gengar, which has to be the coolest thing I think I've come across yet. Normalize, for those of you who aren't Pokemasters, is a Gen 4 ability given to Delcatty, which turns any move into a normal type move. So obviously if Gengar skill swaps it onto you, any move you go for instantly becomes a normal move, and therefore you literally can't touch it no matter what your coverage. And yeah, that was pretty damn cool. That was cool to see. But like I said, anything common that you would see in this meta, this team basically has an acceptable switch in for, and you have Droughtini to punch some holes for you. So I kind of like it. I hope you liked it as well. I'm going to sign off here before this video gets any damn longer. I rambled on a lot during this one. I apologize for that. Be sure to check out the team. Be sure to check out AAA. It's actually pretty popular right now. I don't know why. I haven't seen an other meta of the month be this popular in a while. I think the last one I saw that got this popular was Stabmons, but yeah, they're always there. They're always happening. Just this one happened to get real popular. Definitely go try it out. It's a ton of fun. Scary Pony is equally just as much fun. And that's about all I'm going to leave you with today. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a rating. It would help me out tremendously. And I will see you next time. Take it easy. Have a good day. See you later, guys.